So you've got some city crews out here working to handle that situation, as well as, again, firefighters who are still on scene here putting out hot spots this morning.
And we have new developments overnight. Authorities in Brazil pulled 2 U.S. swimmers off of their plane headed back home. Authorities wanted to question the athletes about their story that they were robbed in Rio.
Yeah, good morning, Emily. Good morning, Brett. As you can see behind me, there is a massive emergency response here on the southwest side of town.
An investigation is now underway in Gold River after about a dozen cars and homes were targeted with offensive messages. Some of the messages targeted Black, Jewish, and gay people, but many of the victims say that they don't identify with any of those groups, so neighbors are confused, not knowing why someone would do such a thing. One Muslim woman in the community says that she has never faced any sort of discrimination.
We haven't actually seen any of that.
All right, Dina, thank you. New concerns this morning for firefighters battling the Blue Cut fire in San Bernardino County. At least 82,000 people are told to evacuate, but fire officials say up to half are not leaving. Crews have been on the front lines for 3 days now. The flames started as a small brush fire, then morphed into this massive blaze, burning more than 25,000 acres. Still, many residents in the community of Wrightwood, they are not concerned just yet.
When returning to the Olympic Village on Sunday morning.
Yeah, this is all the talk surrounding the Olympics right now. A judge has demanded their passports and ordered them to stay in Brazil, but as ABC's Matt Gutman reports, that order appears to have come too late.
Matt Gutman, ABC News, Rio.
Wow, and you have to figure, regardless of what ends up coming out of this, Ryan Lochte is in the advantageous position of being back here in the U.S. to try to figure everything out, while those others, they're stuck over there with their passports confiscated while they have to deal and sort through all of this mess.
And it's so unfortunate.
Now to ABC 10 Business headlines this morning. Have you seen the Sawyer in downtown Sacramento? Well, it's the name of the new hotel that's being built right next door to the Golden One Center. And there's some history behind it. The hotel is named after Judge Lorenzo Sawyer. He was a New Yorker with a law degree who had his eyes on California gold in the late 1800s. Eventually, he became a judge for the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco. And in the case Woodruff versus North Bloomfield in 1884, he issued the Sawyer decision, which basically stopped the hydraulic mining that was hurting local farmers.
You had organizations popping up.
Kind of the first environmental decision to be handed down in the state. So there's your brief mini history lesson, and that's why the Sawyer is so meaningful. The hotel will open in the spring of 2017. Cool. Well, I was all about this yesterday, but now I got to back off a little bit. I thought these were really, really cool. McDonald's now, though, they're scrapping those fitness trackers for kids. They just released them. They're being removed from Happy Meals after reports of skin irritation from some of those trackers. I've even heard reports of kids feeling like a burning sensation. The trackers were part of an effort for McDonald's to appear more healthy and to get kids more active. So they're having to back off of those. Maybe they needed to do some vetting on those fitness trackers before they put them in all those Happy Meals.
Do a little bit more research on them before, but good effort.
Yeah.
They tried to, make a change.
And it could be another historic day in Rio. Usain Bolt, will he win gold again today in the 200? We'll see.
I think you deserve a little gold.
Oh, thank you.
Gold medal goes to Marc.
See if I can put it around.
Yeah, looks good on you. Oh, we'll work on it.
Yeah, good morning, Emily. We're about a quarter of a mile back from the building itself, but firefighters are still on scene here this morning as parts of that building are still burning. From time to time, you can see flames rise up from the facility as firefighters work to put out some of the hot spots. Now, the good news in all of this is that the business that once occupied that building, which is the old Oliver Machinery Company, it had been unoccupied for about a year and no one was hurt. If we go back to last night, the flames broke out around 10 o'clock here on the northeast side. The flames were so intense that part of the building collapsed as firefighters worked to battle this blaze. In fact, they had to set up what are called collapse zones around the building where they pulled firefighters back for their own safety just in case those walls collapsed outwards. Another concern was that the flames could spread to nearby businesses and into the neighborhood. Firefighters were finally able to get the fire under control for the most part, but say fighting this one presented its challenges.
based on the size of the mass of the building.
And what you're looking at now here live is basically a lake in the middle of the roadway here. All of that water came from the fire hoses and the apparatus that they were using to put out that blaze, and the water has just run off into the middle of the street here. But because there is so much construction, road construction in this area, it really doesn't have any place to drain. So you've got some city crews out here working to handle that situation, as well as, again, firefighters who are still on scene here putting out hot spots this morning. They still have not determined a cause. Reporting live from Grand Rapids this morning, Marc Thompson, 24-Hour News 8.
24-Hour News 8's Marc Thompson just got to the scene. Marc, what have you learned?
Yeah, good morning, Emily. Good morning, Brett. As you can see behind me, there is a massive emergency response here on the southwest side of town as Grand Rapids police and fire respond to this explosion. Let me get out of the way so you can see exactly where we're talking about. We're at 901 Freeman off of Market. This is the Masslink Brothers trucking facility, and they say sometime around 4:20 there was an explosion here inside one of the buildings that actually blew windows out to one of the buildings here in the facility. Grand Rapids Fire is on scene right now. They are keeping us pretty far back because it is an explosive situation and they want to be cautious. Now, the fortunate news is nobody was inside the building and there are no reports of injuries at this time, but the fire department, they're trying to determine exactly what led to the explosion, and we just had a Grand Rapids police officer who is doing some of the perimeter patrol come and tell us that the fire department, they are leaning towards a natural gas explosion as the cause for this huge emergency response here on the southwest side. They are not evacuating anyone from the surrounding area. This is pretty much an industrial area here on the southwest side of town, and they say that they are going to continue to perimeter this area to make sure that none of the public comes in and out of the surrounding facility here. This road that leads into the Masslink trucking facility is actually a dead end, so there's no way that people are going to be coming through this area, but they want to make sure that that is the case. That's why Grand Rapids Police is set up a perimeter, and the fire department, they continue to investigate inside here. They say that they had to put out a fire that also took place as a result of the explosion, but again, right now they are leaning towards a natural gas explosion. Fortunately, no one injured here this morning. Reporting live from the southwest side, Marc Thompson, 24-Hour News 8.
It was a grisly scene on South Division this morning as first responders worked frantically, attending to a man stabbed in broad daylight. Where this happened, was there a fight that led to this, or how strange?
Let's just say alcohol was a factor. Apparently they were joking with each other. Somebody said the wrong thing, it got a little heated, and this resulted in the stabbing.
As the victim was rushed to the hospital, the search for the suspect was on. He ran from the scene but didn't make it far as police caught up with him within minutes at his house off Darwin and Burton Southwest, just blocks away from the stabbing scene. He was taken into custody without much incident and is now facing charges. Quick and effective work by Grand Rapids Police, made possible, they say, with the help of witnesses who identified the suspect at the stabbing and led them right to the house. How important is it for witnesses to help?
It's so important. Without witnesses to tell us what happened when we get there and everybody's gone, you're starting with zero and nothing to build on. So witnesses played a crucial role again in this.
All right, time now for Real Money Mornings with your consumer champ, Marc Thompson, taking a look at 3D printers. Champ?
Yeah, good morning, guys. This is a technology that truly is changing lives, especially in the medical field. You've seen advancements in artificial organs, prosthetic limbs. For example, yes, we're talking about 3D printers. And did you know you have access to these high-tech machines for free at the Sacramento Public Library? We stopped by the Design Spot, which is the 3D printing lab located inside the public library's arcade branch, and what an amazing resource there. They have several 3D printers for public use. So here's how a 3D printer works. Once you open up the computer program, it allows you to design and create images of your project by drawing and then plugging in the dimensions. Then the printer goes to work using strands of plastic filament which come in a variety of colors. The printer creates your 3D design from there, and as Bryce from the library shows us, what you come up with is limited only by your imagination. I can already see like getting a Monopoly piece, and maybe there's something that's not actually on the board that you want to
make your own custom pieces.
Make your own custom pieces for games. That would be super cool. And it really is cool stuff. And if you take a look here, this is kind of the evolution of our logo here at ABC 10. This was the last one that came fresh off of the printer. You can see it's got the backing on it, and you would basically just try to peel the backing off of this until you get to your final product. This is the filament that is used for it here that ends up turning into the 3D designs. This is a little top right here. What's interesting about the top is some students made this, but it's made out of filament that actually glows in the dark. So when this spins and you turn the lights off, it will glow in the dark. So if you're looking for a 3D printer, they run anywhere from $350 to more than $4,000 for a really fancy one where you can do all types of stuff with it. It took about 45 minutes to create some of these designs. Guys, back to you.
Man, nobody spins a top like you, champ.
Well, this is now my stress reliever on my desk.
Yeah.
So I've kind of gotten used to how to spin it.
Cool.
And so I just do that every now and then.
Can you bring some of those over here after this so we can
Sure,
take a look at them?
of course.
See what